Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next copy of our Aspire for Agriculture test series. So you all know that we had Aspire for Agriculture test series in which we had total 14 tests, and from test number 9 to 14 were full tests, and we have already discussed till test 12 is already done. So today we will be discussing the test 13, and in today's video specifically we will be doing the section A of test 13, and in the next video, that is tomorrow, we will be covering section B of test 13. So it is also a full length test, and this is the full length test of paper 1. So we will see how we can approach the answers, how the student has written the answers, and you can learn from those answers. And I always say that by analyzing these types of copies, it can be very helpful to you. You can learn how to introduce, you can learn how to conclude, you can learn how to structure your answers, you can learn certain points from this student's answer. So that is going to be very helpful to you. And today we will be discussing and we will be emphasizing more on the structural part, because all these things have been taught by me in my agriculture optional static series, and you can also refer to daily answer writing practice series. So all these things, all these questions have been done there. So we will be majorly focusing on the structural part, and if you want to read the answers, so you can simply pause the video and read it if you want to read, because I will be not reading all the things line by line. I will be just focusing on the important points, and moreover my more focus will be on structural part. So let's start. The first question is, explain the term relay cropping. Explain the term relay cropping and describe its role in increasing cropping intensity in rice fallow areas. So we all know what relay cropping is. We all know that there is relay race. So what happens in relay race? Before the second one finishes, the next starts, then next starts, then next starts. I hope you have seen the relay race. So that is what relay cropping is like. So here we are growing two or more crops in sequence. Okay, before harvesting the second crop, first crop we are growing, we are sowing the first crop. So this way our relay goes on. So this is what relay cropping is, and some examples have been given: maize, legume, wheat, cotton, rice, soybean. Its benefits have been mentioned. It improves soil health, reduces spread of pests, emission of greenhouse gases is also reduced. Now, role of relay cropping have been mentioned. So it allows second crop in rice field. So well before harvest, the standing crop utilize the same land. Obviously, the land, the same rice land can be utilized, and through utilizing the same land, we can maximize the land use. We can improve our resource utilization. Crop diversification can be seen because we will be generally growing legumes or vegetables with rice, and I think that is very well written example. So this was the first question, and I think well concluded how the relay cropping can help us. Okay, so this was the question. Now the next question is, describe the objectives of social forestry and write down the plant species suitable for social forestry. So what social forestry is? It can be defined as a strategy that involves local people. Social, whenever comes social, that is citizens are involved. So it involves local people in forest management to improve their livelihoods. So basically when local people come to manage the forest, that is known as social forestry. Okay, so here unused lands, barren lands can be used for social forestry, especially in India. Objectives have been mentioned, obviously, to conserve environment and biodiversity. Resource uh, uh, provides various resources such as fuel, load, timber, fodder. So well written objectives. You can simply pause and read it if you want to, and you can see examples are very well mentioned. Now there where we have to write some suitable species for for social forestry, and I think student has written a lot of name: eucalyptus, bamboo, teak, sal, oak. But whenever you are writing names, try to write scientific names. Okay, that enhances your answer. So that provides more impact. Whenever examiner reads scientific name, it is more impactful for the examiner also. So I always suggest you to, if you don't know the scientific name, that write, then write the common name. It is okay, it is not bad. But if you know the scientific name, please write it. It enhances your answer. So this was the second question. Now let's move to the third question. The third question is, analyze how crop diversification and production are dependent on nature and culture in Indian context. So how crop diversification and production are dependent on nature and culture. So on nature you can see obviously our crop is dependent on various climates, soil health, okay, rainfall, our participation. So all these things are dependent on nature. Now culture, I think nature part was easy to write, but moreover very student would have confused this answer in culture part, but the student has written very well. Traditional knowledge, obviously we use traditional knowledge while using diversification and production. Dietary habits, there are various dietary. If you go South India, you will find that the rice is a staple food, and they eat rice in the lunch also, in the dinner also, in the breakfast also, with different forms. They use rice batter for making dosa, boiled rice as they eat, okay. And when I go to North India, we'll find that rice wheat systems are there. In the night, we prefer roti or chapati. So, like this, the dietary habits also have impact on our production. Rituals and festivals. Obviously, there are in various religions there are various rituals with certain crops. Okay, so that also enhances the production trends, because in various thing you will see that a certain community do not eat certain crops, so obviously they will not grow it. So that is another reason. Seed selection and savings, obviously they are saving seeds from various years, so that is used. Indigenous communities have their own crops, such as wild rice is generally grown by indigenous communities. So everything has been very well written. You can see in Garhwal Himalayas there is a system that is known as Barhanaja system, in which 12 different crops are grown in single season. So this is how nature and culture affect. And good conclusion. In conclusion, you will see that sarson ka saag, makke di roti. So this obviously sarson and makka, that is maize, obviously shows the diversification trends. Now the next question is, discuss the cultural methods of weed control. So obviously there are various methods of weed control. It could be biological, it could be chemical, it could be cultural. So here we are discussing the cultural method. We can do crop rotations, obviously. We can do soil solarization and deep plowing. We can do puddling in rice fields. We can do mulching. We can do another methods, cover crops, resistant varieties. So all these things are cultural methods. So you can simply pause and read it if you want to. And I think this student has written nice conclusions, simple and short conclusions in all the answers. So you can read the conclusions to enhance your conclusion if you're not good at it. Now the next question is, give an account of criteria for selecting component crops for intercropping system. So how can we select the component crops for intercropping systems? Obviously, we will see the maturity times, okay, criteria. So actually, first of all, you should know the difference between intercropping and mixed cropping, which is generally asked. Intercropping and mixed cropping. So in intercropping, there is although two or more crops are grown in both the things, in intercropping also, mixed cropping also, but intercropping there is definite row arrangement, while there is no definite row arrangement in mixed cropping. So that you should know. Now criteria, let's move to the criteria. Obviously maturity times are seen, water requirements are seen, growth habits are seen, okay. Contrasting root systems, if they have same length of root system, obviously they will absorb moisture and nutrients from one area also. So whenever we do this, we try to see shallow rooted plants with deep rooted plants, so that they absorb moisture and nutrients from different layers of soil. That should be done. Allelopathic reactions, obviously if the plants will show allelopathic reactions, so the production of both the plants will hamper market demand, light tolerance. All these things are good factors. You can simply pause and read it. And I think examples, you can see how much the student has written examples. So whenever you write good examples, it enhances your answer. Now the next question is, explain the critical period of crop weed competition with suitable examples, and also describe the factors affecting critical period of crop weed competition. So what is crop weed competition? We all know, when both compete for the resources, either it is light, water, nutrients. So that is what crop weed competition is. Now critical periods have been mentioned with different crops, such as in rice the critical period is during transplantation and herb seeding, okay. And I think critical times such as flowering times should be added. Flowering time, vegetative phase, herbaceous phase. The student has actually mentioned 2 to 6 weeks after sowing, 4 weeks after sowing. That is good, but that looks a bit generic. So we should add the phases here, which I have mentioned the students to here also. Now, what are the factors affecting crop weed competition? Obviously, there are various factors: persistence of weeds, weed crop density, plant species effect, or what kind of weed species is, what kind of crop species is. So all these factors affect. Soil and climate influence is there. Okay, cropping practices, when we are planting the crop, what is the crop density? So all these things affect, and those factors have been explained a bit. You can simply pause and read it if you want to. Now the next question is, describe the improved cultivation practices of chickpea in detail. So basically, improved cultivation practices, or you can simply say package of practices. So chickpeas or gram, we all know that has been mentioned about chickpea in the introduction. Okay. Now improved cultivation practices, obviously scientific name has been written, geographical area and cultivation. I think Madhya Pradesh has the largest share of production that is mentioned, climate and soil. So varieties, I think very important varieties have been mentioned. In Desi varieties, we have small size black seeded coat. In Kabuli varieties, we have large size white seed, and I think some name of some varieties have been mentioned. Such as Gaurav, Arundi, or Odi. These are some of the varieties. Aparna, sorry. So I think remember at least two, three varieties of all the important crops that will help you in this package of practices, and seed rate sowing and all the things. You all know the pattern. We've discussed these things various times. So all these things have been should be mentioned. I think it is a pulse crop. So you will see that there will be common traits in pulses crop. So you should remember one pulse crop and see the differentiations with other pulse crop. What are differentiating factors? Thus remember those, and the common factors should be kept in mind. That could be written in all the pulse crop. That will be not wrong. So well written answer. Everything has been well explained. You can read it if you want to. Now the next question is, what is wind erosion, and describe the factors affecting wind erosion. So obviously there are various kind of vision erosion. When erosion is due to wind, obviously it will be wind erosion. When erosion is due to water, it is known as water erosion. So what erosion is, you should know, that is the removal of top fertile layer of soil due to action of water, wind, or other actions. Okay. And if you know the types, you can briefly mention, such as wind erosion. The types are will be here: siltation, creep, and all those things. Factors affecting have been mentioned: climate, soil properties, vegetation, and all these things have been explained here. So climate factors have been mentioned. Land use factors have been mentioned. Well done point. You can simply pause and read it if you want to. Anything and concluded well. The student has mentioned about CHRI in conclusion. So all these things enhances your answer when you add some institutes, when you add write about some commissions, some varieties, some datas. So these things enhances your conclusion. Now the next question is, describe the cultivation practices of mustard in detail. So again, if you know the wild seeds cultivation practices and you know the differentiating things of different wild seeds, you can write it easily, that I have discussed. Okay, scientific name, geographical. I think scientific name you can write, or you can skip it also. It is not necessary to write it only. Geographical area, climate and soil, anything varieties such as Pusa, Jai Kisan, Barun, Kranti, all these varieties have been mentioned. DMH11, obviously, GM mustard, all know it. We all know it. And land preparation time. All the important aspects of package of practices have been mentioned here. You can simply pause and read it if you want to. Now the next question is, discuss the remote sensing system used for ecosystem analysis, and briefly explain the use of remote sensing for drought monitoring. So obviously you know what remote sensing is. Remote, that is not in contact or not in touch. So when you sense this, when we sense the soil through some drones, satellites, airplanes, anything which is not in contact will come in remote sensing. Now how it can be used? Obviously it has multispectral imaging, hyperspectral imaging, LIDAR technology is used, that is use of light in detection. SAR technology, that is synthetic aperture radar is used. Now use of remote sensing have been mentioned. Okay, you know that NDVI is used to see various types of things. The colors of various things will be different in NDVI. Yes, while with high moisture content will show different color in NDVI. With low moisture content, you will see different color. SAVI is now used. Okay, that is soil adjusted vegetation index, VCI, VTCI, the temperature here is measured. I think, and satellites have been mentioned which are used, Landsat, MODIS, all these satellite working have been mentioned, as data acquisition, index calculation. So all the things have been spatial analysis, time series. So all these things have been well written. So I hope you understand it. You can simply pause and read it if you want to. Now the next question is, explain the biological and chemical properties of soil. So I think about soil has been written in introduction part, and chemical properties such as soil pH, okay, buffer pH, cation exchange capacity, base saturation, all these things are organic matter, all these things are chemical properties which have been mentioned, and biological properties obviously soil biota, generally soil flora and fauna will come in biological property. So this was today's answer copy, and I think you understand various aspects of it. You have read the answers wherever you wanted to by pausing the video. So I think this type of answer analyzing videos are helping you. So if you like it, please press the like button, please do share, and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis, and if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.